Lights, cameras, action. Now let's engage in the dialogue. Let me browse through your mind like a catalog. Conscious metaphysics, allow me to break down the specifics. Educate, motivate. If you don't feel free, you can liberate. An LLC is what I'm building, the #1 podcast in the building. So let me slide on up in the Bentley truck in my Versace shirts. They can't get enough of this deep conversation, expansion, elevation. I'll send you a link you can tap in. It ain't quite what I used to do back then. Now I get it on the front and the back end. Multiple money streams keep coming in. Enlighten, empower, evolve. Enlighten, empower, evolve.
Just in time. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved. I know everyone's doing well and everything is unfolding perfectly. I'm very excited yet again, and you know why. Because I have an amazing guest today who is a writer, mentor, life coach, mental health activist, and speaker. She is the founder and CEO of iShine, iRock LLC, host of the Mental Health Slayer podcast. But by day, she's an application support technician. Without further ado, I introduce to you Stephanie Hall. How are you doing today, Stephanie?
I am doing great today. Thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be on your podcast to
Yes,
speak today.
yes. And I'm also a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets. So for you to choose to spend some of your time in the moment of history of your life here on this podcast, I just have to extend my sincerest gratitude to you.
Thank you.
So let's just jump right into it. So you're a writer. Let's just start with that. What do you write? And how did you start?
Well, it's crazy because when I was young, I used to actually write poetry. It was a
Right.
way that I used to express myself. As I got older and life hit, I kind of put it to the side. But when I started my healing journey 3 years ago, I started writing and documenting my healing journey. And
Right.
I would do it in ways where it would be through my journaling, posts that I put, on my social medias. I pretty much wrote everywhere, journals and all those type of things. And then what I did was I ended up compiling all that information together and started writing my first book, which is called The Journey to Healing: How I Broke Free Mentally. And so I didn't realize how philosophical I was because I do all this research on so many different things and different subjects. And
Right.
I love to write. So I write pretty much anything, mostly about my
Wow.
life, things that are insightful to me. So, yeah.
That's amazing because I too am a writer as well. So I resonate with that. I feel that that's how I express myself. That's how I eradicate, get things out, cleanse myself, clear, and just even just tangibly see goals and I also write music as well, write and record music as well. So I love, like you said, I love to write. That's part of who I am, period.
Right.
Just a writer. So that's
Right.
amazing. And you quickly said something about this book. What is the title of your book again? And where can we find this book?
Um, the My book is called The Journey to Healing: How I Broke Free Mentally. It is a personal memoir of my healing journey for the past 3 years. It's phase one, because now I'm
Okay.
in phase two. I pre-put the book out and then I pulled it because after
Okay.
getting a little critique, people said they want me to put it all in there. And
Right.
so what I'm gonna have to do is go back to some videos I posted on my old YouTube channel and put that nitty-gritty stuff in there. So
Okay.
um you guys just hold on. I will I will put it out soon, I promise. We're getting to put the nitty-gritty stuff in there. So yeah.
Okay. 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 Yes. You are also a mentor and life coach. How did that come about? You being a life coach and a mentor. Have you always been into like self-improvement and coaching? And I mean, how did you get into that?
I was always a person that wanted to help people. I've
Right,
always had a humanitarian heart. And it didn't matter where I was, whether it was a space, a work environment, or anything. If it was children, I wanted to help those children. If it was my coworkers, and they needed some help on something, it was my coworkers. I like to train and help them on something. So I
right,
always had that eagerness to help. And so when I started healing and I was really seeing where I was going with this, I said, you know what? There's a lot of people out here that need help with what I did. Now
right,
me, I only had the Most High do this with me. You know what I'm
right.
saying? It was just me and him. But he was like,
Absolutely.
I want you to take what I gave you
Right,
to help heal others. And so one
right,
of the ways I started doing that was I have a mental health support group on Facebook. And I went on there and I would talk to people and I would tell them what was going on with me. Had people in the audience engaged and we talk about our issues.
right,
We talked about everything, right? Especially mental health stuff. And then I always, I'm faith-based, so I always brought it back to, a scripture or something, or
right,
a word of encouragement just to keep people going.
right.
So I put myself in that mentor space because when I started doing that, I had a lot of people coming to me and say, Stephanie, I need your help. Stephanie, can you teach me how you do that? Stephanie, can you teach me how you did that? How did you lose all that weight? How did you reverse your A1C? And I was like, it's like, how did you heal your depression? Hey, I can help you. So I felt
And
like it was just a part of my calling.
wow, amazing. And that also, I'm certain ties into the next question in regard to you being a mental health activist, which mental health, I'm a big, activist on that as well. And I want to know, what type of work do you do? What inspired you to do that? Because I myself have suffered from work through mental health issues as well, as far as anxiety, depression, and things like that. So, give us a little insight on your journey with being a mental health activist.
So I used to title myself as an advocate until I understood what the meaning of activist means.
Right,
And I definitely advocate for myself and others. I had to do that through my own journey, right? But
right.
I actually want to be an initiator of change. So my mission statement is to eliminate the mental health crisis.
Wow, that's powerful. To
Yeah,
eliminate the
to
mental
eliminate
health,
it.
to
Yeah,
eliminate it, not play
yeah.
with it, eliminate
No,
it.
let's not play with it. No, we
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
playing with it. We're
yeah.
gonna take care of this thing because I found out that it's possible.
Wow.
It's possible because I did it. Um, I started by advocating because I started experiencing very extreme issues with my mental health
Right,
back in 2008, 2009-ish. Before then, I had built up past emotional pain and trauma, right? I
right.
had already developed health issues at an early age. I mean, shoot, I was diagnosed with migraines at 12. I had a small stroke from those migraines at
Oh,
age
wow.
18. Like, I mean, that was just from the beginning too. It was like boom, 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 boom. And then
Right,
I had my first child.
right.
Then postpartum depression came in. It
Hmm.
went from postpartum depression all the way to severe depression and anxiety. Then it got bipolar added to it. And
Wow.
then it got to suicidal thoughts and suicide attempts. Can we
Mm.
talk about that?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Because I know some platforms are kind of
No, no, no. Let's talk about it. That needs to be talked about.
um when it got to that point, I went through a series of suicide attempts and suicidal thoughts for about a 6 to 7 year time frame.
Mm.
And I had about three attempts, but four hospitalizations. The first one was bad. The first one was the worst. I actually have a picture where I documented I cut my wrist. It was this one.
Oh, yes. Wow.
And the I have it on my YouTube channel because it's kind of dark. I try not to talk about it because I tell people it's trigger warning what I went through. But it was what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know if I have a word for it. I will say it was transformational of all things, but
Okay.
it was the darkest place of my life.
Hmm.
The It was the darkest place in my life, and I had nobody
Hmm.
to help. I called people, I texted people, I sent a few people pin drops. All I
Right.
heard was I'm busy or I'm out of town, this and that. I shut my phone off,
Hmm.
went in on my arm, and I tell you, I did not feel like myself when I was doing it. I was going in so hard I couldn't feel the pain.
Wow.
And my ex-husband came. Believe it or not, he was one of the few ones that, saw the pin drop. I guess he knew something was wrong and brought the police and stuff out there. But anyway, that was the worst one. And then I
Wow.
had several ones after that. The last one was back in it was just 3 years ago. 2020.
Right.
Towards the end of 2020. So this is kind of my anniversary.
Hmm.
Um, I had lost another job. I went into a deep depression. Even though I was healing a little bit, I still wasn't happy. And
Exactly.
I shoved a bunch of pills down my throat.
Hmm.
I sat there for a minute. I started feeling slow and lethargic, and my heart started beating slow. And then I said, God, I'm sorry. And then everything came up. I slept so good that night because I had insomnia for years.
Right.
Oh,
No,
it's the
I've
worst
I've
insomnia.
I've had serious bouts of insomnia for over the years as well. So I can connect with that. And no, I'm thankful that you are being vulnerable to share that, because that's
Yeah.
a lot of people, suffer from certain things and have had suicide attempts, and they need to know that there is a light. So
Yeah.
yes, and just from reading some of the things that you're involved in and that you are an advocate for, and that lets me know that you're taking that pain, and you're putting it into not only healing yourself but helping other people, and that's what people need, somebody that has went through, the like you said, the darkness themselves. And we still go
Mhm.
through things now. So
Yes.
I just commend you and encourage you to keep going, because you have a purpose here. And
Yeah.
and
Thank you.
that's just all there is to it. You have a purpose. And yes, I can just feel, your energy, that there's some great things that are coming from what you've sacrificed yourself, through to help other
Yeah.
people, because there's
Yeah.
people that hear pin drops all the time. There was a point in my life where that's where I heard was pin drops.
Right.
There was nobody, so
Right.
I get it.
Right.
I totally get it. And you can't, um I can't talk about something like that enough, just to bring
Mm-mm.
awareness and to bring hope to other people to listen to your
Yeah.
story. And that's
Right.
why I think it's very important to, yes, share, you know,
Yeah.
exactly. So you're also the founder and CEO of iShine iRock LLC. Give us a little insight as to what that is.
So my LLC is kind of like a small enterprise, right? And it
Right.
consists of several things. One of them is a clothing brand that we're currently working on, which is my brand here, iShine period. As you can
Okay.
see.
Beautiful.
That's the
Beautiful.
girls.
Did you
We're
design that
working on,
shirt too that you have on?
well, yeah, but my t-shirt lady made it. So this is for my
That's
podcast,
amazing.
Mental Health
I was
Slayer,
going to say something. It says the Mental
Health Slayer
Health
podcast.
Slayer podcast. That's nice. I love that.
Yep. So we made these designs and we're gonna be putting them on t-shirts along with power statements and all types of stuff. So that's part of it. The other part of it is the actual podcast. And there's a lot that's going with the podcast, but we're creating digital products and like mental health journals.
Right.
Affirmations, and I'm creating a journal called Affirmations, Words of Encouragement and Prayers. So we have a lot that comes under our LLC. We're basically just going to be giving you different products, selling you a bunch of stuff that's going to encourage you as far as your mental health.
Wow. Wow. And where can people, connect with this and find like your podcast? Where can they watch this or listen to it at?
So the podcast is here on YouTube. It is called, you can search for the Mental Health Slayer podcast, literally.
The
And,
Mental Health Slayer podcast.
and you
Look
should
that
see
up,
this
everyone.
logo. You should see this logo. That's it right there. And on the podcast, I talk about I do prophetic messages because I'm a prophet. I do healing
Right.
messages where I talk about things I went through and how it connects with mental health.
Right.
And then I interview people, and talk to them about what it is that they're doing, their mental health issues, and it's pretty
Right. Well,
cool.
hey, look, I'm here. When you gonna get me on the show? So I'm putting you on
Hey,
I'm putting you on the spot. You come on my show. I'm gonna put you on, and then you have a show. I find out you have a show because when I read this too, that you have
right.
a podcast. So, okay, she has a podcast as well. No, I'm glad you triggered.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
because nope, I'm going to put her on the spot and about me getting on her podcast as well. So I want to be on your podcast. I'm letting you know.
I already had that in the works. I was just going to find the right time to stick it in.
So everyone that's watching this and or listening, hold Stephanie M. Hall to that to get Luke Bryan Smith
Yeah,
on the Mental Health Slayer podcast. You heard it from
yeah.
me right now. If you don't see me
Right.
on there, bombard her with messages. Nice messages though. Nothing negative.
Oh no, I definitely want to get you on there.
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
hearing
No.
from a lot of Black men lately, and I'm so glad that y'all stepping up. So yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Get me on there. Let's talk because I got a lot to talk about too, and especially in regard to mental health.
Yes.
I'm willing to be vulnerable too because I think my
Yeah.
vulnerability can help especially
Yeah.
men, heal themselves and identify
Yes.
things as well. And you know,
Yeah.
that's when the real power start coming to me when I really start looking within myself and seeing,
Yes.
and things within myself and yeah, there was contributing factors, and we can go through those
Right.
too. But at the same
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
this is my life, and I gotta
Mhm.
fix it. Nobody else is
Yeah.
gonna fix it, no matter who contributed to the trauma. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah, it's
Right.
my responsibility. I
Yeah.
know it sucks. You think
Yeah.
whoever contributed to the trauma, they're supposed to fix it. Like they can't. They can
It's
apologize
ghetto.
or they can say, "Oh, I wish I
Right.
coulda, woulda, shoulda," but the damage
Right.
is done, and you got to fix it yourself. It just
Yep.
is what it
You're the
is.
curse breaker. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
for real.
right.
Hmm.
But it's amazing. Yeah. So yeah,
Yes.
I am very thankful that you're an advocate, for mental health. I can't say that enough. And
Hmm.
yes, I look forward to listening to your podcast as well. How many episodes have you recorded thus far?
So I have about 8 guests that are on the actual podcast. But
Okay.
I actually have playlists with other videos, such as I have a healing playlist, I have a prophetic message playlist, and I also have a playlist called You Are What You Overcome. And in
Oh,
that
okay.
particular playlist, what I'm talking about is I always tie mental health with spirituality because
Hmm.
I realize that there is
Right.
a connection there, right?
Right.
Um, we have so many doctors that are putting us on these medications
Right.
to dummy us down.
Right.
But
Numb
at the
us.
end of the day, oh, numb us, possibly to kill you, take you out if it
Right.
could. You
right.
see how many people they put on these meds and they be like,
Oh, right, right. No feeling, no emotion, no. Yes, I know because I've been on them.
me too. And it's on purpose though. But you know what? The moment I got off them things is the moment that I realized I have spiritual superpowers.
Right.
I
Oh,
have
wow.
superpowers. Y'all just trying to knock me down. Y'all just didn't want me to be this great. Y'all didn't want me to do what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? It's
Exactly.
all good. Past in the past, right?
Right.
Anyway, my point is what people don't understand is that there are certain things that we deal with and have dealt with, especially from past trauma, that have manifested into whole demons
Mm,
because they controlled parts of our life where they
mm,
have completely altered us, mind, body, and spirit, right? And
mm.
what I do is I talk about these specific subjects. Like, for instance, I have one on how to overcome unforgiveness.
Ooh, that's a powerful one.
Unforgiving,
That's a
having
yeah.
unforgiveness.
Ooh,
You
that's
you
hard sometimes. That I mean, I'm not a lot of times that's hard. It's hard to forgive, or it's hard for other people to forgive us. I mean, woo, that's a deep one.
It's hard. It is hard. But when I explain it the way that I explained it in the video, what I wanted people to understand is the whole aspect of forgiving and what it means. That number one, people got to understand forgiveness is for you, not for the other person.
There
It
you go.
frees your spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
At the end of the day, you know it's going to help them. They may or may not care if you said it
right,
or not, right? You can't
right.
even worry about it. You did your part, right? On top of it, I tell people mainly forgive yourself too. You have to
Exactly.
forgive yourself for
That's a
not
tough one as
knowing.
well. Right. That can
And
be
we
tough
hold
as well.
ourselves, yes, and we hold ourselves guilty and hold ourselves shameful for the things that we did not know. And
Right,
I'll be the first person to tell you, take that off of you. That
right,
was not you. That was something that was probably projected onto you.
right.
Like for real,
Ooh,
for real. You got to take the
no.
time and assess these things, and say, okay, what came from me? What came from somebody else, you know? And
Mm,
then I talk about how that stuff so it turns into a demon when it starts to control you because a lot of people that deal with unforgiveness are very nasty people.
right,
Can
right.
be, can be,
Can
can
be.
be, can be.
Right.
And then I talk about the spirit of narcissism.
Mm,
That's a whole other can of beans. I talked about how to overcome the spirit of fear. And
wow.
fear is one thing that is holding everybody back from being great.
Yes, yes,
The
yes.
main
You're
thing
right.
that keeps people from being great. And if they only understood that instead of you being scared of that fear and allowing it to be that demon to hold you down and keep you, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
You go confront that thing. You go face it in the face. That's what I
right,
did.
right.
That
Meet,
thing
meet,
is you out.
meet it head on. That's how you do
And
it.
yes, and knock it out. And I'm gonna tell you, everything that I actually thought I was scared of was actually either scared of me or it was something showing a part of me that was showing me how powerful I am,
Mm,
right? So people have to understand and shift their mindset on that.
mm.
Everything that I talk about though is about shifting your mindset. Yeah,
Mindset.
it's faith-based, biblical based, um, Christian and spiritual based. Um, but this is more about shifting the mindset. I'm big on Romans 12 too, because that's what I did with me when I healed.
Right,
So I
right.
have more to come, but that's what we have so far.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. So, excuse me, your YouTube channel. What is that? What is the name of your YouTube channel?
Oh, it's called the Mental Slayer podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
The Mental Health Slayer podcast. Just look up
yeah,
that. You got it, everybody. Check it out. Go on there and check out all this amazing uh, work that she has up there. Amazing
yeah,
content uh, with the intention of helping and healing and enlightening. I'm gonna check it out myself after we get off of here. So that's amazing. I appreciate
yes,
you, Stephanie, coming on.
yes.
Is there any
Yes.
other um, links that you would like to share audibly while we're here?
Um, let me think. If anyone's looking for a mental health support group, I do have one available on Facebook. You could search Safe Space, Safe Place Mental Health Support Group. We have the same support group on LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn, you could search for that one as well, or search for me on both platforms and I'll get you connected to it. But
Stephanie M.
that's
Hall,
it.
right?
Yes, Stephanie M.
Stephanie
Hall.
M. Hall, right?
Or by my username, iShine period CEO.
iShine period CEO. Okay, right.
And you can go into my link tree that I actually show you pretty much all of my links. It's linktr.ee/ iShine period.
Well, thank you very much for coming on to the podcast once again and sharing your beautiful testimonies, insight, and just being a shining example of someone that's has overcome and is still overcoming. And I know there's more great. Like I said, this is just my what I picked up because I'm big on energy, and
Yes,
the energy that I'm
yes.
receiving from you is that you have um, a, a, a great um, works to accomplish, and it's for you to.
Mm.
I want to be careful how I articulate this, but
Let's say it straight up.
yeah, it's for you to shine too, and to know that you're superwoman, but at the same time help others to feel that same way through through
Yes,
you, through you,
yes,
and through this
yes,
wisdom that you're acquiring daily. You know,
yes.
it's amazing whether this wisdom you're picking up from your own soul, from the universe, from God, from what you're reading, but you're a conduit, and you're this light to shine. You know, and
Mm,
it's amazing. And you know what?
mm,
Even if you just, and not to compare, but if you look at some of
yeah.
people that we consider extraordinary, they
Hmm.
all, most of the time, they went through something that
Yeah.
was meant to destroy them, but they didn't. So
Yeah.
then they became
Right.
extraordinary. And I can see you following that same, in that same light as well. So
Yes.
that's amazing.
Appreciate that.
Yes, yes.
Appreciate that.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you very much. Keep shining, keep moving forward. And this is who you are. Um, nobody can validate that, you know,
Right.
outside person or anything like that. You just keep doing what you're
Right.
doing.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so
The right
much.
things will continue to unfold, and the right uh, circumstances, people, whatever situations will continue to unfold in your favor. And that's
Yes,
amazing.
sir.
I
Yes,
truly,
sir.
I know that. Yes,
I
yes,
receive it. Yes, sir.
yes, yes. Thank you very much again, Stephanie, and thank you
Yeah.
for watching and or listening. Leave a comment on this video, ask questions, check out the mental health. What is it again?
Player podcast.
Player podcast. Yeah, check that out. Check out my website as well, 333empower.com. And if you feel like that you will be an amazing guest for this podcast, send an email to 333empower@gmail.com. So be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, share this video, uh, get it out there, help grow the platform as well. And we're all connected. Thank you very much, everyone. Love and appreciation. See you soon. Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved.